Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday edition of NewsFeed for Wednesday, April 11th, 2001. I'm Dan Crow.
And I'm Andrea Herzog. Tonight on NewsFeed, after 11 days, the 24-member crew being held in China will be returning to the United States. Rioting in Cincinnati continues for the second day after the Saturday killing of an African-American man, and more than 47 people are killed in a soccer match in South Africa.
But first up tonight is your campus news. University alum and Ann Arbor resident Kevin Olmsted made television history last night on ABC's popular game show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Olmsted's final answer resulted in him winning the largest game show payout ever, $2.18 million. Olmsted, who is a professor at the University of Detroit Mercy and an assistant to the University of Michigan's Quiz Bowl team, was able to answer that Igor Sikorsky was the man who invented the first mass-produced helicopter to obtain the huge point when asked in the final round. Olmsted, who is 42, is not married and was accompanied by the show with his mother. He holds a doctorate in environmental engineering from U of M, as well as chemical engineering degrees from Case Western Reserve University in Ohio and MIT. The show's last $1 million payout occurred in July, as was awarded to David Goodman, another university alum and friend of Olmsted.
Thanks, Dan, and congratulations to him. A male university student reported being robbed by two armed men at 1:30 a.m. yesterday morning near Stockwell Residence Hall, according to DPS Safety spokeswoman Jessica Somerville. Somerville said the robbery victim was returning home after stopping at an automatic teller machine when one of the perpetrators put his hand around his neck and object up against his back. The victim told DPS that the men asked him for his money, while the other man reached into his pocket and removed his wallet and took $60 in cash. The crime alert stated that the two perps then fled the scene towards South University Avenue. The crime alert described one of the suspects in yesterday's robbery as a black male, approximately 22 years old and wearing baggy clothing. The other suspect was described as a 23 or 24-year-old white male with short hair and a goatee. Anyone with information about this incident is asked to call DPS at 763-1131.
Thank you, Andrea. An enforceable patient's bill of rights would protect against insurance companies that refuse to pay for necessary procedures. That is, according to U.S. Representative John Dingell, who addressed university medical students yesterday. Dingell, who was invited to campus by the student-run section of the American Medical Society, came along with Representative Charlie Norwood, who is a co-sponsor of the so-called Bipartisan Consensus Managed Care Improvement Act, to discuss the act. Dingell believes this act will allow for more accountability among health maintenance organizations and allow for the patient to hold the insurer accountable. Dingell outlined a two-step process in which patients can appeal refusals of care by their insurer in response to a question that asked how medical students can help get the legislation passed. Dingell replied that anyone supporting the act should write their congressman and let him know.
University of Michigan's solar car team prepares for their final additions to this year's car called M-Pulse. Instead of a leisurely 1,000-mile trip per day and housing in college dorms as in past national competitions, this year's competition resembles the ideals of the reality TV show Survivor. The reliability and endurance of both car and team will be tested by the rough terrain of the Rocky Mountains and Californian desert. With 4,000 solar cells and 650 AA batteries, the M-Pulse should achieve 85 miles per hour. With the new custom-fitted streamlined solar panels and lightweight lithium batteries. In the past, University has won first place twice in 1990 and 93, while placing 6th and 17th in 97 and 99 respectively. This year's biennial race, known as the Sundance Race, is in Chicago on July 15th and ends in LA by July 25th.
The family of detained U.S. Navy man Nicholas Mello says they're delighted by the news that the Chinese government plans to release him and the rest of the 24-member crew of the U.S. surveillance plane that has been held against their will since April 1st. Mellos, who is 46, is a senior chief petty officer and 1973 graduate of Ann Arbor Pioneer High School. The crew of the U.S. Navy EP-3E surveillance plane have been held on Hainan Island in the South China Sea since they made an emergency landing there after a mid-air collision with a Chinese fighter jet. Mellos' family is more than delighted to know that he will be returning home shortly and express their happiness to how the problem was handled. NewsFeed will have more on this story later on in the newscast, so stay tuned.
Okay, now let's have a quick check of the weather with NewsFeed's chief forecaster, Allison Hendricks. Allison?
Thank you, Andrea. Well, looking at the current map, the National Weather Service has issued some severe weather watches across the nation. Currently, Wisconsin and western Illinois have tornado watches, and the western half of Michigan has a tornado watch box issued for it. Also, the southeastern edge of Michigan has a severe thunderstorm warning issued. These storms have potential of developing hail. Strong winds and tornadic behavior is a possibility. So stay tuned to NewsFeed, and I'll have all the details coming up later.
Milosevic.
Thanks for sticking with WOLV TV, Ann Arbor's only local news program, NewsFeed. I'm Andrea Herzog, and in national news tonight.
After 11 days, the 24-member crew being held in China will be returned to the United States. A commercial charter plane landed in China today to retrieve the crew and transport them to Hawaii for decompression and debriefing of the incident. After several days in Hawaii, the crew will be flown to Washington State for a welcoming ceremony. The release announcement came after the United States and China agreed on wording that allows each country to appear victorious in the dispute. The language allows China to interpret the letter as an apology, and the United States can claim it is not. In the statement, the United States says, "We are very sorry the entering of China's airspace and the landing did not have verbal clearance." The letter also states the U.S. is very sorry for the loss of the Chinese pilot. Currently, he is still missing but presumed dead. The U.S. did not accept responsibility for the incident or agree to cancel flights off the coast of China. Negotiations for the return of the aircraft will commence April 18th.
Rioting in Cincinnati continued for the second day after the Saturday killing of an African-American man, Timothy Thomas, age 19, by a white police officer, Stephen Roach. Unrest began Monday night when demonstrators broke 28 windows at Cincinnati City Hall. On Tuesday, 150 demonstrators, both white and African American, overturned news racks and broke windows. There's also been looting and fires. Several motorists have been pulled from their vehicles and beaten with rocks, bricks, and glass. More than 65 people have been injured. Police officers have fired beanbags and rubber bullets on some of the demonstrators and arrested approximately 66 disorderly conduct and other charges. While fleeing police, Thomas was killed in an alley with a single shot to the chest after he reached into his waistband. He was wanted on a number of misdemeanor crimes. The FBI is investigating whether police violated federal civil rights laws in the shooting.
A reported 47 people were killed and as many as 25 were injured during a soccer match in South Africa today. The game between two of South Africa's most popular soccer teams had been oversold. A reported 80,000 to 120,000 people showed up at Ellis Park Stadium, which seats only 70,000. The rush to enter the stadium started 10 minutes prior to the start of the match and continued for 45 minutes. As people pushed into the stadium, victims were trampled. Others were trapped against barbed wire. The dead included both women and children. Victims were as young as 12 years of age. The game was canceled 30 minutes after it started.
Moving on to international news, a Russian soldier on peacekeeping duty in Kosovo has been killed while on patrol, a KFOR spokesman said. Russian peacekeepers came under fire on Wednesday in Yugoslavia's troubled Kosovo province near the Serbian border, as reported by Russia's RIA news agency. The lieutenant general of Moscow's military attaché in the Serbian capital Belgrade told RIA that the serviceman was shot in the head and died on the way to a hospital camp at Ban Stil, the U.S. KFOR base in southeastern Kosovo. A KFOR spokesman said the soldier was killed during operation to mark out the province's northeastern boundary with Serbia near the village of Zuja. Powell is the first former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, Bosnia and Kosovo, which remain part of the Federal of Yugoslavia. In Macedonia, Powell is expected to show support for the Macedonian government and is due to meet Macedonia's Albanian leader Arben Zafari.
Thank you, Andrea. Former Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic has been transferred to a hospital after reportedly having heart problems caused by high blood pressure today. Milosevic was in Belgrade prison after being arrested on April 1, 2001, at the end of a standoff with police at his luxury villa in the city. He is facing corruption charges at home and is wanted by the United Nations War Crimes Tribunal in the Netherlands for alleged crimes against humanity. Milosevic was ousted in a popular uprising last year after attempting to rig presidential elections. And when we return, Alyssa McClish will have Ann Arbor's complete weather forecast, including the weekend. And later on NewsFeed, we have much more. Stay tuned.
heard there's some severe weather coming for us in 39 states. Do you think we're going to get that?
I'm not sure. Let's see what's up in weather tonight. Let's see what does Allison have for us?
Thank you, Dan and Andrea. Well, looking at the current surface map, we see that this is a low pressure system that is igniting all the severe weather that's been happening across the United States. We'll see as this warm front moves up towards the Michigan area, it's going to ignite some severe weather over southeast Michigan. This squall line is the one that's associated with all of the strong winds, hail, and tornadoes. And why don't we take a closer look at the Michigan area, and we'll see that up towards Muskegon, Muskegon is where there is a strong cell right now, and possibly some tornadoes could develop tonight, but I wouldn't think any would develop over there. But currently we have hazy skies, and it's misting, a temperature of 60 degrees, and the temperatures will be rising tonight. The winds are out of the east at 12. Tonight we'll see mostly cloudy skies with the thunderstorms developing by midnight. The temperatures will continue to rise with a low of around 60 or 62 degrees. Tomorrow it'll be a beautiful day, much better than the past few that we've seen. Windy, but mostly sunny skies, and a high of 70 degrees and a low of 50. Then over the next 5 days, we'll see temperatures plummeting, but fairly decent weather. Sunny skies on Friday, Saturday mostly cloudy, Sunday mostly cloudy, Monday a chance of light rain, and Tuesday maybe a wintry mix of rain and snow with lower temperatures coming. But don't be disturbed by that. Spring is definitely here, and we'll have warmer temperatures coming up later. Now let's go back to the newsroom with Andrea and Dan. Thanks.
Thank you, Allison. NewsFeed will continue with Getting Your Sports On with Adam Paterno.
Plus, Indian women are dying due to poor prenatal care. We'll have this story for you in your health news. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm Adam Turner with your sports. All right, kids, you've tuned to the last and final sports segment of NewsFeed for this season, actually. And who better than to spend it with than yours truly? Okay, let's take a look at Michigan sports tonight. The U of M women's softball team, gotta love these girls, ran its winning streak to 11 games this afternoon with an 8-1, 3-0 doubleheader against Central Michigan at Alumni Field. Senior pitcher Marie Barta stole the show and didn't return it for that matter in Game 2, carrying a no-hitter into the 7th inning before giving up a one-out single to Chippewa second baseman Kim Burke. Michigan, who sits proudly atop the Big Ten standings, will be putting an 11-game winning streak and perfect 6-0 Big Ten record on the line this weekend with a pair of 2-game series against our foes, Wisconsin and Minnesota. So get out there and show your love, people. It's game time. And our friends at the University of Michigan Athletic Department will be hosting third annual Springfest this coming Saturday. And if you don't know, Springfest is a, quote, special day for all Wolverine fans that combines numerous springtime activities into a full-time enjoyment, I don't know, on the Michigan Athletic campus. The day will begin with a 5K fun walk, although personally I don't find anything too fun about walking, and continue with a hockey equipment sale and a Kids Go Blue picnic. Now, I'll be there for that. For more information on Springfest events, please call the Sports Marketing Office at 615-2025. And if you want to be a cheerleader like I often do, tryouts will be held in the men's gymnastics room intramural building. The intramural building is located on Hoover Street, 1 block west of the intersection of State Street and Hoover. Please wear appropriate workout attire, including a t-shirt, shorts, and athletic shoes. Tryouts at the clinics will begin promptly at the posted times, which is available at mgoblue.com. If you can get more info at mgoblue.com. Click on cheerleading tryouts for that. All right, over the river and through the diag to tonight's top national sports stories we go, where Zach Randolph of Michigan State men's basketball says he isn't just flirting with the idea of going pro after just one season as a reserve at Michigan State. He's pretty serious. Even though he isn't certain how well he'll do in the NBA draft, Randolph is committed. He told CNN reporter Elizabeth Herrick today that he won't use the NCAA option to keep his eligibility as long as he doesn't sign with an agent while assessing his pro prospects. Randolph became the second Michigan State player in the last 2 days to announce an early jump to the NBA. Sophomore shooting guard Jason Richardson announced Tuesday that he's also going pro. Spartans coach Izzo, who attended Randolph's news conference, said he believed Randolph would be selected in the first round, but wouldn't predict how high. The 6'9" Randolph, a former Indiana high school all-star, averaged 10.8 points and 6.7 rebounds in less than 20 minutes in the game last season. The New York Yankees played their entire season series against Kansas City shorthanded. Alfonso Soriano and Paul O'Neill had three RBIs apiece as the New York Yankees completed a sweep of the 6-game season against Kansas City with an 8-5 win today. After sweeping the Royals without All-Star Derek Jeter to open the season, the Yankees won 3 straight in Kansas City with All-Star Bernie Williams. It's the second time in Yankees history they have swept a season series of more than 3 games in any non-abbreviated season. The other time was 1998 when they were 10-0 against Kansas City. Since 1997, the Yankees are 28-7 against a team they met 4 times in the playoffs between 76 and 80. And now for a quick update on NHL action tonight. A second chance in the second season is quickly turning into a second fiasco for the Los Angeles Kings. After becoming demoralized in 4 games by Detroit in the first round last year, the Kings opened the 2001 postseason by falling behind 5-3 to Detroit. In Game 1 tonight, and currently in Game 1 tonight, we're going to have your score is that Buffalo is leading Philly by 2-1. And lastly, we got it once a week at 10:15, and my was it fun. As we end yet another season of Getting Your Sports on WOLV, I hope you all have a great summer, and be sure you get enough sports, that is. Good night, folks. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Adam. In health news tonight, activists held a rally recently at the Taj Mahal, where they demanded action from authorities to reduce the number of maternal deaths, which they say reach up to 100,000 a year in India. According to officials, a mother dies every 5 minutes on average of complications related either to pregnancy or childbirth. Women in India face a 1 in 37 lifetime risk of maternal death, compared to 1 in 3,500 in the United States. The main problems in India include few prenatal clinics and malnutrition. More than 70% of pregnant women in India are believed to have iron deficiency anemia, which can increase the risk of premature births, low birth weight babies, and death of the mother.
All right, I'm Andrea Herzog reminding you to tune in next year to NewsFeed. And in fall, our top story will be killer bees. As ending my 3rd year here on NewsFeed, I'd like to thank all of the crew. Come on out, guys.
Kelly, you should come over here. Come on, Kelly.
Thanks for watching WOLV TV, and some of these kids will see you back in the fall.
For Andrea and Allison and Adam, I'm taking it out. Have a great night and a great summer.
Good night.
WOLV would like to thank Andrea Herzog for her years of service with the TV station. NewsFeed has been brought to you by RHJ, the student voice in the University of Michigan.